The corridor lights flickered in that tired way that suggested the ship's power core was either stabilizing or quietly planning mutiny. I was juggling a crate of medical vials when someone brushed past me in a blur of silver armor and long, pointed ears that swept back like elegant antennae. She smelled faintly of ion smoke and whatever perfume warriors wear when they expect to survive a battle but want to look intimidating doing it. She dropped a small maintenance cloth without noticing. I picked it up, turned, and saw the scorch marks, dust, and dried violet stains on the back of her armor. I didn't think. That was the problem. I simply lifted the cloth and wiped the streaks away, the way you'd help a coworker who accidentally sat and spilled coffee. She froze mid-stride. Completely froze. Not even her ears twitched. For a second, I wondered if I'd accidentally hit a shutdown button. You had a, smudge, I said helpfully. At the far end of the hallway, 2 junior officers witnessed the scene and made the universal face of oh no. One of them whispered something, then sprinted off as if carrying news of galactic doom. The other just backed away slowly, as though I'd ignited a forbidden artifact. The warrior turned her head toward me very slowly. Her eyes were wide, the kind of wide that promised nothing good. "Human," she said quietly. "Do you know what that means?" I opened my mouth, but panic stepped in front of my brain and used it as a shield. That I'm very good at cleaning? 5 stars, top of my class, excellent hand-eye coordination. Her ears folded back in a way that looked like a mixture of horror, resignation, and whatever emotion equates to please let the galaxy swallow me immediately. She took a controlled breath. "You touched my battle armor." "I did," I admitted. "Technically twice. I went for the second swipe before I realized you weren't moving. That act," she said, voice even but strained, "is only permitted to a bonded partner, sworn aide, or chosen family." I blinked. "I cleaned your armor, not your diary." She didn't blink. "The distinction does not exist in my culture." Somewhere behind us, a crew member squeaked and ran away with the subtlety of a panic-stricken turtle. More footsteps echoed. Whispers, muttering, someone saying, "He didn't, did he?" With the rag. "I can put the dirt back?" I offered desperately. "I'll smear it on. Look, here's some leftover scorch mark." "No!" She lunged, grabbed my wrist, then immediately released it as if realizing that touching me might also have cultural consequences. Her ears twitched wildly. "Do not add more offenses to the first." Great. I'd apparently speedrun an entire list of forbidden rituals without knowing any of them. We stood there, surrounded by faint ship vibrations, distant chatter, and a growing crowd pretending very badly not to stare. She closed her eyes for a moment, gathering herself. When she opened them again, the fierce warrior exterior cracked just enough to reveal something else. Uncertainty, maybe even fear. "There will be complications," she said. "Okay," I replied, trying to sound calm. "Can we fix it?" Her ears lowered in a slow, tragic arc. "No then," after a beat. "Possibly. Maybe. If the ancestors are merciful, they usually aren't." Which was how I learned that one helpful cleaning gesture could apparently start a cultural catastrophe. She marched me down the corridor with the tense, dignified posture of someone escorting a war criminal who had committed a crime with a damp cloth. Her long ears twitched constantly, tiny reflexes betraying the turmoil she tried to hide. Every time we passed crew members, they scattered like debris sucked into an airlock. One engineer made the sign people usually reserve for warding off reactor meltdowns. Another whispered, "He bonded with a warrior? Voluntarily?" I tried to correct him, but he was already gone, leaving only a trail of disbelief. We reached the briefing chamber, its door hissing open with the enthusiasm of a bored AI. Inside, the lights dimmed automatically, recognizing the warrior's rank. The shadows made her armor gleam in a way that reminded me, terrifyingly, that I had just polished parts of it. She stopped, exhaled sharply, and rubbed the bridge of her nose. "Human, before the council asks questions, you must understand what you've triggered." "I'm ready," I lied. She looked at me, assessing whether that was even remotely true. It wasn't, and we both knew it. Armor is sacred. Not decorative, not merely protective. Carries lineage, personal history, victories, losses. To clean it is to acknowledge that you stand with me in all those things. So it's sentimental, I said. It is binding, she corrected, with the grimness of someone announcing a small supernova. Almost contractual. Those who see the act may interpret it as me accepting you as a chosen partner or aide. I was just trying to be helpful. She sighed. Intent is irrelevant. Tradition is louder. The chamber doors hissed again, and 2 officers entered, both managing to stare at me with a mix of pity and alarm, like I was a baby animal wandering into a plasma storm. One bowed her head to the warrior. Commander Lyrian. We received reports. Lyrian. So she had a name. Good. I preferred to know the names of people whose lives I was accidentally derailing. The officers exchanged glances. One cleared his throat. Is the human claiming the bond? I choked on absolutely nothing. I'm not claiming anything. I don't even know how to claim something on this ship. Do I need a form? Lyrian's ears shot upward in a jolt of embarrassment. He does not claim anything. He acted in ignorance. The officers weren't convinced. Their species had expressive eyebrows, each eyebrow rising in perfect synchronized suspicion. Ignorance does not undo tradition. Lyrian stiffened. I am aware. Silence swelled between them, thick and awkward. Finally, one officer said, The council will want clarification. Then, with a sympathetic look toward me, and possibly documentation, Lyrian dismissed them, and they retreated quickly, as if staying too long might bind them too. The room darkened again as we were left alone. Lyrian paced, muttering under her breath in her own language. Sharp, melodic syllables that sounded like poetry if the poetry was frustrated and mildly murderous. I leaned against the table, feeling every vibration of the engine through the floor. So, I ventured, what happens now? She paused, ears angling toward me. Now we attempt to reduce the damage. You will answer questions. Honestly, carefully. And under no circumstances will you touch anything else I am wearing. Noted, I said. I'll keep my hands to myself. I won't even touch my own shirt if that helps. Her mouth twitched, just barely. A microsmile that flickered and vanished. Your species is exhausting. I get that a lot. She exhaled, slow and resigned. We will face the council in 1 hour. They will decide whether the bond is recognized or dismissed. And if they recognize it? Her ears drooped in defeat. Then, human. You and I are officially entangled. I swallowed. Okay, 1 hour. We can handle that. She looked at me with the solemn gravity of a warrior prepared for battle. I hope so, because the council never laughs. Well, I said, attempting humor, then they're really going to hate me. The council chamber buzzed with a low hum, the energy of 1,000 circuits keeping the artificial gravity steady, while the voices of the alien elders layered in a strange harmony, as though the building itself were debating my fate. I stood beside Lyrian, my palms clammy, hoping my feet wouldn't betray me by sprouting their own ideas of where to run. Her long ears twitched nervously, a subtle signal that even warriors of her caliber could be undone by bureaucracy and tradition. The eldest of the council spoke first, his voice like gravel sliding over glass. You, human, have committed an act that is, by our customs, both intimate and binding. He paused, glancing at Lyrian with a mixture of curiosity and expectation. Explain yourself. I cleaned her armor, I said, trying for casual. The words came out sounding like a confession in a courtroom drama. I didn't know it meant anything. I just wanted to help. A ripple of laughter, low, melodic, not mocking but genuine, went through Lyrian. Her ears flicked in amusement. I nearly panicked, thinking I'd misread the room. She speaks truthfully, she said. The human acted in ignorance, yet did not flinch when the implications became clear. He could have run, but he stayed. That carries merit. Another council member tilted her head, eyebrow ridges catching the light. And do you accept this human's gesture, knowing its meaning? Lyrian's gaze softened, just barely. I do. The chamber went silent for a long moment, save for the hum of machinery. My heart thumped like a grav thruster firing off course. Did she just accept me? Like actually? Then it is settled, the eldest decreed. The bond is recognized. Both parties will carry its responsibilities and privileges. A strange weight lifted off my shoulders, and I realized I could finally breathe. Lyrian's expression remained stoic, but her ears curved subtly forward, relief, or maybe faint amusement. We left the chamber together. The crew, now aware of the bond, whispered behind us, some in awe, some in confusion. I found myself smiling, realizing how absurdly small the galaxy had become when one wet cloth could start rumors that traveled faster than light. So, I said, trying humor, I guess I'm your aide now? Or like, personal armor janitor. Lyrian's lips twitched. You will learn the responsibilities soon enough. But yes, you are bound to me, in every way the touch implied. I swallowed hard, imagining all the ways this could go wrong. And then, surprisingly, I didn't panic. I'd spent a day navigating alien customs, dodging political intrigue, and surviving the judgment of 1,000 eyes. Somehow I was ready. Good, I said, because I already made a mess of the first job. Maybe I can redeem myself with a few more. Her ears flicked sharply, almost like a warning, and then she laughed. A sound like wind across crystalline towers. Do not make me regret this, human. I'll try not to, I said, smiling genuinely for the first time in hours. We walked down the corridor together, the ship humming around us. I realized I was no longer just a confused human stumbling through alien protocol. I had survived it, learned from it, and, in the process, gained something I hadn't expected. Trust, responsibility, and perhaps, in some bizarre interstellar way, a companion. And as our footsteps echoed in unison, I understood that sometimes, even an accidental act of help could change the course of more than one life, especially when long ears and tradition were involved.